Hi, I'm Anna. I'll be delivering my speech on immigration, and my audience is my sister. So, I am a daughter of an immigrant, but of an immigration attorney. I am a daughter of a man who came to America with $20 in his pocket and a dream to start a new life full of opportunities he was deprived of, but he knew he deserved. As I said, I'm a daughter of a woman who helps immigrants just like my father achieve those goals. I've been blessed to be around many immigrants during my life, and my parents have taught me enough to understand why immigration is very important in our country. I am saddened to see that many people do not understand the important roles immigrant plays in the United States. Many people have strong opinions about immigration, but those opinions are shadowed by myths and fallacies, and many times by the opinions of those even when opinions are not sustained by facts. Oscar Halden, a professor at Harvard, wrote in 1952 in his book, The Uprooted. Once I thought to write a history of immigrants in America. Then I discovered that immigrants were American history. This country was founded by immigrants for centuries. This country has welcomed people from all over the world, and together they have formed a beautiful patchwork quilt that we call the United States of America. Many people are not aware of the pain and suffering that immigrants have to go through to get here. Once they get here, the pain and suffering do not end. Even though when they arrive they feel peace and protection, they have to go through an archaic system of laws to legalize their status. Aside from that, they face discrimination and the stigma from people they believe that immigration is the worst thing to have happened to the United States right now. Every time we talk about immigration, one of the first things we often hear is that every immigrant is presented in the United States illegally, but that is simply not true. Reports show that approximately 45 million of foreign-born people living in the U.S., only 25% of them are undocumented. It is not clear how many of those entered legally and just overstayed their visa, but it is important to note that the other 75% of them are either naturalized citizens, permanent residents of the United States, or here in a valid immigration status. As I will explain later, many of these undocumented immigrants are most likely in process to legalize their status, but those processes are long and very complex. With that misconception, because the second most heard myth, which is all immigrants have to do is come legally, as my ancestors did. Immigration to the United States has existed since the early 1600s. During that time, pilgrims arrived to the United States in search of religious freedom. After that, the United States has experienced a major wave of immigration. During the first part of the 19th century and from the 1800s to the 1880s to the end of the 1900s, many immigrants came to the United States seeking greater economic opportunity and a fresh new start. Ellis Island was the first immigration station in the United States. It was a designated place for immigrants to be inspected and to obtain documents that will allow them to remain in the United States. I don't think many people know this, but during that time, anybody that wanted to come to the United States and remain here was able to do so. The U.S. had what they referred to as an open immigration system, which encouraged people to remain in the U.S. if they wanted to. It was not until the late 1800s when immigration laws and policies were enacted. It's important to note that it is not easy to obtain a visa or a permit to come to the United States. In order to come to the United States legally, you need to have a visa, and for that, you have to comply with many requirements. Sometimes it requires a job offer or a family member that will file a petition for you, and these processes are very hard and long. Even if you had a family member that wants to make you petition for you, there are so many hurdles you have to overcome. Just to give you an idea, if you are a United States citizen and you want to file a petition for your sibling, it could take over 20 years before they can even start the process to get their residency in the United States. We also hear often that immigrants come to the United States to take jobs away from U.S. citizens. That is very far from the truth. First of all, it has been proven that unemployment rates are in no way connected to the illegal immigration. The truth is that many immigrants are doing low-paying jobs, which are jobs that are usually not wanted by many U.S. citizens. When I worked at my mom's office in the summer, I witnessed how employers would call the office asking if they could get help to get employees from abroad. And it is very hard for them to fill these positions. When my mom would tell them it would take years, they would be very discouraged. On the other hand, many immigrants come to the United States and they create jobs for U.S. citizens when they open up businesses and employ Americans. The next myth we often hear is that immigrants come to the country and crime rates start to go up. All we have to do is look at rates and compare crime rates from U.S. natives and immigrants, most specifically men. Native men are 5 times higher to become arrested than a foreign-born man. Studies have shown that most native men are most likely to commit crimes of aggression in comparison to foreign-born, who are more likely to commit crimes of property. I believe this is the main issue that we have. We always need to have someone to blame, and sometimes it is just easier to blame those who do not have a voice to defend themselves. We are so focused on the negative factors that we forget about the benefits. There are many benefits our country has experienced by having immigrants come and stay. For me, the number one is that without them, there would be a fall in the demographic and no diversity. There is also economic benefits as they help employers do many jobs that many U.S. citizens do not want to do, but they also provide jobs for Americans as well. The most important benefit for me is that there's a melting pot of cultures that we have here. We can learn from different cultures and understand the beauty that they can bring to us. We get to grow in many aspects, and we will start to bring diversity through schools, workplaces, and homes. I think we can all agree that our current immigration system is broken. Immigration concerns us all, for it is important and for others controversial. Because not all can agree, there is an urgent need to educate people about this process. The plaque at the base of the Statue of Liberty reads, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, and the wretched refuse of your teeming shore." This has been the motto of this country. We take care of the needy and those that cannot take care of themselves. Many immigrants fit this description, and even with families here in the U.S., they have to wait years to get the green light to become legal in the United States. We should all try to be better and make sure that we can support all of the people that are coming to this country for better opportunities. My invitation is to become a part of this wonderful movement. We should educate ourselves and do not believe blindly the myths and fallacies that many considered fact when it is not true.